Oh look, Sid needs to get some money.
Got my visa. Oh snap! What the heck? It's boarded up. Can't believe this happened at my bank.
It's Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022. A very, very informative show today. Please stick around. I've got some really interesting clips. Sid and I took a ride out to Yucca Valley, California yesterday. That's in the high desert. And I was absolutely astonished with the economic damage that has taken place up in Yucca Valley. Mall closings, retailers closed, bank closure, very large bank closure, just major devastation taking place in Yucca Valley. So stay tuned, watch this video. I'm going to show you those clips in a little bit, but I want to talk really quickly here about these markets today. Dow Jones down only 482 points. And I say only because it was down over 700 points at one point today. NASDAQ down 166 points. So I don't know if we saw some Fed intervention today, because it looked like the Dow was about to get very out of control. And it was interesting because the president came out, spoke earlier today, and the market was down over 700, and he talked about more sanctions, and the market turned around. So isn't this interesting that we're escalating things, yet the market turned around, went from over 700 down, and it was down in the threes, I believe, on the Dow, and closed down 482 points. But it almost seemed that the escalation, the sanctions, that our involvement was good news. So I don't know, maybe the markets want war, very possible. Maybe the plunge protection team jumped in today and had to control this thing and save it from getting out of control, because it was really looking like this market was going to take a major free fall here. And I want to share some of the interviews I watched today and kind of recap on some of these business shows. I had some of these economists on, some analysts on, some people in the real estate industry on, and many of them saying consumer confidence soaring. I have never seen so much economic destruction in the U.S. economy than I have seen in the last 12 months. And going out to Yucca Valley yesterday, you've seen us out in LA. We were out in Yucca Valley yesterday and just reporting the facts. This to me is the real news, not somebody making $500,000 a year in a business suit who's an analyst or an economist consulting for one of his business channels telling us everything's fine, cheerleading these markets, telling you to continue to buy in. This is a great time to buy a house. You've got to be out of your mind right now, in my opinion, to be jumping into the real estate market. I've never seen a bubble this big in my life. One person said, keep calm and carry on. This is the cheerleading, the mentality of these people that want to sucker you into these markets, into the biggest bubble of all time. I don't think you need a degree from Harvard. I don't think you need to be a rocket scientist to figure out, or a major CEO to figure out that this is a massive bubble. Bond bubble, stock market bubble, real estate bubble, derivative bubble, you name it. We are seeing, look, we are in a time now where you will own nothing and be happy. Again, going back to some of these shows today, there was a person that came on Fox Business, and they were talking about rents and how the rents are getting out of control. In Miami, rent is up 54%. Riverside, right out here, it's up over 25%. Phoenix, up over 31%. And this really stood out. 59% of people's income in Miami is going to to paying their rent, okay? 59% of their income goes to paying the rent. This is happening in Miami right now, where there's a massive surge of construction and building taking place, many people moving there. And I just look at some of this data and I think, okay, people walking around with a $1,500 iPhone, which also they're making payments on. When you buy a phone now, I remember when you would just pay for the phone and then pay for the service. Now the phones are so expensive, you have to make a monthly payment just for the phone and the service. Average new car now approaching $50,000. Average price of a home now, of a new home, approaching $500,000. 477,000, I think, was the last number for a brand new home on average. And the average income of a person in America right now is, I think, right around $38,000. So just think about these rents. Average rent nationwide, national average, $1,785. And the average person making $38,000, 36 or 38. Just think about that. Almost $1,800 a month going to rent. People have got their cell phone bills, could be $50, $100. They're walking around with a $1,500 iPhone. They're financing that. They've got a car payment of $400, $500, $600, $700. They've got to eat food, right? You got to eat. You got to pay utilities. You got to pay for car insurance, health insurance. How in the world are people at this point saving any money? And I guess this is the problem. This is why 70, 80% of the country now is living paycheck to paycheck. This is why 40% of the US has zero money saved up, zero money saved up. Imagine that. You're sitting at home and you have absolutely no money and you're waiting for your next paycheck just to pay your rent and to eat. How long does this go on before something very bad happens, before something out of left field takes place, before there's an emergency, a flat tire, alternator goes out in the car, you need a new battery, kid falls down, needs 10 stitches at urgent care, there's $200, $300, $400 right there. You know, and what are people doing? They're slapping it right on the credit card. This is gonna end bad. And just going back to yesterday, please stay tuned, watch the video, the clips from yesterday while we're out just freestyling with a camera and a microphone, checking out what's happening in the economy in the high desert of Yucca Valley, California. Look, it is bad, ladies and gentlemen. And when you look at the data of what people are having to spend on a car, what they're spending on rent, what they're spending at the grocery store, $4 or $5 gallon gas, and it's going higher. And the news today looks like things are only going to get worse. So now they're saying that, well, the situation that the market is in, the geopolitical events that are taking place, that the Fed is going to have to take it easy, going to have to ease up. And so now they're saying that the next rate hike will be 25 basis points instead of 50, and that maybe we'll only have 3, maybe 4 rate hikes instead of 6, 7, 8, or 9. If this is the case, I hope that you're buying some gold. I hope that you're buying some silver because inflation is going to absolutely go ballistic. And this is the conundrum that they're in. If they do nothing, if we're just going to sit there and have a few rate hikes of 25 basis points, we will be paying $7 for a gallon of gas. You will be paying $5+ for a loaf of bread. You're going to be paying a lot more for the essentials. Everything is going to go ballistic. So I hope that the Fed gets aggressive. I really do, because if they don't, we're in very, very big trouble. We're in big trouble no matter what. We're past the point of no return. Real estate advisor today on Fox Business says no sign of things slowing down. Watch this video and just take a look. Just go back a couple days ago when we were in Los Angeles, when we were in Venice Beach, and yesterday when we were in Yucca Valley. Things aren't slowing down. They're slowing down. I just cannot believe the absurdity of these people to go on a show like that and flat out, in my opinion, lie. Because things have been slowing down for a very, very long time. But these cheerleaders that continue to tell you and I that the consumer's never been so strong, the economy's strong, the job market is record breaking. Yeah, there's jobs out there, but those are our old jobs, and most of them service sector type jobs. We are not creating new innovative jobs. We are not creating manufacturing jobs. And this is why things are going to get much worse. And just to close with this part of the video, so many people have all of their wealth, literally most of their wealth, tied up in real estate, in their home. And many of these people now feel very, very wealthy. They feel secure because they have all this equity in their home, which has been created by the Fed at super, super low mortgage rates, 0% interest rates, and trillions upon trillions. I don't even think we even know how many trillions of dollars they've really injected into the economy, into the markets, now causing a massive housing bubble. And of course, all the institutional money that has blown this bubble up even more, inflating these bubbles to record-breaking numbers. And people are measuring their wealth. They're feeling very, very wealthy now because of home prices. And we saw this movie take place back in '08 and how fast home prices can collapse. And I think we're going to watch massive amounts of wealth just be vaporized. And if you consider yourself wealthy because your house has doubled in value, be cautious. Because just like the stock market, these things can flip on a dime and they can go straight down. And we saw this take place in 2008, especially here in Southern California, where housing prices got absolutely devastated. And I saw houses selling for 30, 40, 50 cents on the dollar. I saw land selling as low as 10 cents on the dollar. These large builders were out here dumping lots for 10 cents on the dollar. How fast things can happen, yet people believe that they're rich, they're wealthy, because their $200,000 home in the last few years is now gone up to $500,000, or their $500,000 home is now $1 million. So everybody is a millionaire, but it's on paper. And they don't understand it wasn't because of a growing economy. It wasn't because of a growing job market. It was because of a faulty monetary policy and a lot of cheerleading coming from people on the television. It was 0% interest rate, 0% Fed rate. It was ultra low, 2.8, 2.9, 3% mortgage rates. Again, all this artificial, not because we have a booming economy. This so-called wealth is going to be vaporized because it's not real. It's not real. It was a paper house or a house of cards built on quicksand. And real wealth, I believe, will stand the test of time. This is not real wealth. This is all artificial. So anyways, I'm going to leave it there today. Check out the rest of this video. It's concerning, ladies and gentlemen. ATMs boarded up, banks closed, businesses gone, shopping malls gone, but yet, hey, the consumer's strong, the economy's strong. Be calm, continue to buy the effing dip, as they say. God bless. Here's your ATM. And this is the fear, ladies and gentlemen. One day, you're going to come to your ATM and you're going to need money. And this is going to be what's here. Not that the ATM will be empty, it just won't be here. Completely closed. Very large Bank of America here in Yucca Valley, closed.
San Bernardino County.
I'll talk up here. It's too windy. just more of the carnage. Now here in Yucca Valley, California. This is San Bernardino County, one of the biggest counties in the entire US. We're just gonna cruise through here. It's a little bit windy today, so bear with us. But the auto dealership over here has been gone for years. This place here, this restaurant, I don't know how long it's been closed, but it looks like it's been closed a while. So we just pulled over. The cinema's gone. Really sad. And this whole strip center here is gone. So we've got one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. Probably close to 10. So this whole thing is entirely available with the cinema. Sid.
So, you know, this is really sad when you see this happening in a blue-collar town. You know, where there's a lot of people that work hard for their money, and you can't even have a movie theater open in a location like this.
This entire section vacant. So we just walked into the local mall here, and pretty eerie because we're the only ones here. This is almost ominous. We're in this local mall in Yucca Valley. And as you can see, the windows are all covered up. It's a 3-day weekend. Stuff is all covered up. And there was a bunch of lease signs out front. So apparently all this is for lease.
Just incredible, you know.
Sid, have you ever seen anything like this?
This is so incredible. I've never seen the place look like a ghost town like this. Location here we're at.
Everything is just papered up. All the windows, all the doors. Fountain. I think this was probably a fountain at one time. Look at this fountain right here. You know it's a bad sign when the fountains get shut off. All it is thousands and thousands of vacant square footage. This seems to be a nutrition shop right there. There's a gym here, which has been around here for years. Never been in this mall, but I remember that gym, so I knew somebody that worked out at it. This is all vacant. Everything over there vacant. Fountain, vacant. Part of the gym. Actually looks like a nice gym. And that looks entirely vacant right there. There's LabCorp right there. You got the gym right across the way here. And vacancy. I mean, I don't think I need to say much. I've been in some pretty desolate malls. This is pretty bad. Never seen anything like it. Sid.
Well, at least the facilities you're able to use them. They left them for use still, so you're good on that.
All right, good.
So, you know, if anybody's telling you that the economy is doing well, you know, we've seen dozens and dozens of vacancies on the way up here. And, you know, this is a telltale sign of what's really happening when you look at a place like this. and it's completely shut down.
What scares me even more than this is when we drive by a Bank of America that big, and the ATM's boarded up and the place is up for sale. That scares me. And when you come to a small community like this, how many people are reliant on banks? Other banks are open, but there's a lot of banks in your areas, my areas, that continue to close. And when I see a big bank like Bank of America and a large Bank of America in a small town like this closed up, that concerns me. Because what happens when the next Chase closes or the Wells Fargo across the street closes and you can't access your money? And so many people in these small areas so dependent on these big banks. And you got to ask yourself, if that ATM gets shut down, if your bank closes tomorrow, what do? What do these people do? What do we all do? And it's just very concerning on how fragile, the fragility of this system is right now. And we're always told that everything's too big to fail, but we've never seen so many bank closures. And we're gonna see a lot more, because guess what? Guess what the banks did? They loaned money on malls like this, and nobody's paying these loans back. Somebody's going to be on the hook. It's going to be the investors, the bondholders, the banks, the retail investors, the pensions. This is going to end bad, ladies and gentlemen. I've never seen anything like it. Going to malls, and this isn't the first one, but going to malls and seeing them completely empty. Sid and I are the only people in this mall.
Closed.
Let's go to the next one. Let's move fast. It's freezing out here.
This one is for lease. Closed. Another one, space available. Lease. Closed.
Okay. So big store right here, and Sid pointed out a couple over here. Next to that, this one's available.
This is a huge store. You can be 20,000 square feet.
Yeah, big store. And
for rent, maybe for
nail salon here is open. And then you got a Payless shoe store right here. Been gone a long time. Right next to the grocery outlet. Look at this, now leasing the entire part of the building for lease. Here's another one right next to the Dollar, the Family Dollar, closed. Big, it's a big store. Okay, dude, the restaurant right there. Is that, dude, that Mexican restaurant? This restaurant moved, but it's another vacant building now. Right off Highway 62.
La Cocina Nueva.
There it is, they're gone. They moved somewhere else, so this is done.
The sign right there.
All right, we got a big rig behind us. An old Sizzlers. Wow.
closed. So we've pumped in $6 trillion into this economy, and you know the doors are closed. What does that tell you how great the economy is?
When a Sizzler cannot make it in this economy, you know things are getting bad. And I've seen a lot of Sizzlers closing up over the years. Big empty parking lot. Who owns this building? What happens to it now? I have no idea. But right off Highway 62, Sizzler is gone. And it's just really, really sad to see the carnage. It really is. Now, there's plenty of places open. People are out. But there is no doubt something going on, because there are so many retailers and restaurants gone. And this didn't just start a year or two ago. I've seen it changing up here in Yucca Valley over many, many years. And it just seems like it's never going to get better. All right, so we just pull up off Highway 62 here. Here's another one. And obviously it's been closed for a very, very long time.
Investment Group Sabrina.
Just a lot of real estate. And over here, across the way, is another one right there. Let's drive up here. So windows just all covered up, just sitting vacant.
Showing the fancy Joshua trees.
So here's one right next door to the one we just showed you. Completely empty, windows covered up. Somebody owns this real estate, and nobody's paying on the note. If a bank owns it, they're not getting paid. The landlord owns it, they're not getting paid. Who owns all this real estate? And what about, you know, another thing too is, what about the tax revenue that these businesses generate? When they're gone, they're not paying that tax revenue into the city of Yucca Valley. So it's a losing situation for everybody. The business owner, the city, the retailers. It's just bad for everybody. And it's really bad for the entire economy. For sale, right off Highway 62 as you head up the hill into Yucca Valley. This place has been shut down for at least 2 years, maybe 3 years. I don't know what happened, but I guess it's another sign of how bad the economy has actually been. And it didn't just start getting bad a few months ago, or a year ago, or 2 years ago. It's been struggling for years. And this is more evidence of it. These places, many of these places that we showed you today, didn't just start getting into trouble or closing down a couple months ago or a year ago. They've been vacant for years, many of them, like this one.
You know, I can recall 2007 like yesterday, you know, where I see a lot of friends and family that, you know, they lost jobs, you know, they lost their homes when the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac nightmare happened. And, you know, all these houses and homes went on the market and people couldn't afford to buy a home or even pay for their mortgage. So what is going to happen now as you see businesses all across California being shuttered? You know, if you go back to that year, you know, that is just telling you that things have been bad since then. You know, over, you know, 15 years or so is what I'm thinking that it's been.
If the small business owner is in this much trouble, what does that mean for housing? What does it mean for the real job market? What does it mean for the real economy? The small business owner is being decimated, and
They can't make it.
if small businesses cannot make it in America, the backbone of America, then it's going to take down a majority of this country. People got to have jobs, and most of those jobs are in small businesses.
and we're watching them be crushed. And so the people that work these jobs, they don't have jobs anymore. How do they pay their bills? How do they pay their rent? How do they ever buy a house? The people that own these businesses, what do they do with their mortgages? You know, I mean, think about it. It's all connected. And look, I don't have the answers. I don't have all the solutions, but we can all start today with one thing. We all have got to come to the conclusion and agree that this economy's in big trouble. So one thing we can all do today is admit that we have a huge problem, a huge financial problem. That's the first thing. We must admit that we've got a huge problem, and then from there deal with it. The problem is nobody wants to admit that the economy is crumbling. Nobody wants to admit that the economy is collapsing. And until we can admit that, until we can admit how bad the economy is and how bad it's doing and how bad small businesses are doing right now, we're never going to fix anything. All we continue to do is ignore reality and ignore the problems. And these problems are not going to go away, ladies and gentlemen, but people will write me, what's the solution? Well, first off, how about we all admit what's going on and then go from there.
Stop kicking the can down the road.
Stop kicking the can down the road. How about, you know, as a country, all we want to do is create more debt. How about we stop the spending? Maybe we start making sure that the money and all these bailouts go where they need to go. But instead, they go to places that they shouldn't be going. But we got to admit that there's a big problem here. And after we do that, I think as an individual, as a family, as a country, the spending has got to stop. But see, that's the problem. The average consumer doesn't want to stop spending. The government doesn't want to stop spending. And in return, it's going to print a lot more money. And we're going to see a lot more places like this empty. Inflation, all this corrupt monetary policy, the inflation, the waste of money, shipping jobs offshore to other countries, being dependent on other countries, all those ships coming in and making them wealthier. It's all a mess, ladies and gentlemen. And from what I can tell, and it's just me, just thinking out loud, from what I can tell, this problem is going to get much, much worse. So be your own central bank. Put some cash away. Put some gold and silver away. Put some food and water away. Put some barterable items away. For those people out there who continue to write me and say, what's the solution? Well, I just gave you a half a dozen right there. And the big one is be your own central bank and stop being dependent on the system to save you, because the system is broken. It's melting down. It is not going to save you. It is going to be the reason why we're going to see more catastrophes like this. It's going to be the reason why America goes into the greatest depression it has ever seen in its history.